Welcome back to the deep dive. We're jumping right back into Dante's Purgatorio.
That's right, we're continuing the climb alongside Dante and Virgil.
And last time, we left them arriving on the fifth terrace, wasn't it?
Exactly, the fifth terrace, a really crucial spot. This is where souls who were burdened by avarice, by greed, are doing their penance.
And how are they doing that? It's quite a vivid image.
It really is. They're lying face down, prostrate on the ground, essentially forced into contact with the earth they perhaps valued too much in life. Learning detachment.
Okay, so quite intense. And today we're focusing specifically on Canto 20.
Yes, Canto 20. And it really digs into some heavy themes, avarice, obviously, but also power, how it's used, maybe misused.
And you mentioned this sense of history repeating itself.
Yeah, there's definitely a feeling of historical cycles, echoes of the past.
And our goal, as always, is to kind of pull out the threads that resonate for us today. The universal lessons for our own lives, our own journeys.
Absolutely. Finding the relevance in this, well, this centuries-old poem.
So a key moment in this canto is the encounter with a particular spirit, Hugh Capet.
Hugh Capet, yes. A major figure. He's the founder of the French royal dynasty. And hearing from him here in Purgatory gives this unique perspective.
He seems quite outspoken for someone undergoing purification.
He really is. He doesn't hold back. He's incredibly passionate in condemning avarice.
Particularly in his own family line, right?
Exactly. He points directly at his descendants, criticizing their greed and, well, their actions. It's quite a powerful moment of sort of dynastic self-critique.
That's fascinating. From the founder himself.
And he even prophesies some kind of divine punishment for them down the line because of this greed.
That makes you think, doesn't it? About leaders or systems, maybe even in our own time, where that pursuit of wealth or power seems to overshadow everything else.
It really does. It prompts you to consider, well, what happens when accumulation becomes the main goal? What are the costs? Not just financially, but ethically, socially.
Yeah, those subtle ways that always wanting more can skew things, the long-term fallout.
Definitely.
Okay, so then, as night falls on this terrace, something else happens. Souls start doing something specific.
Yes, as darkness descends, they engage in these recitations. It's almost like a communal reflection.
What are they reciting?
They share examples, stories of avarice that led to ruin, and, conversely, stories of generosity that were rewarded or beneficial. Two really stand out.
I think I know one of them. King Midas?
That's the one. The classic story, right? Everything he touches turns to gold. Sounds like a dream come true initially.
But it never is it?
No. Dante really leans into the tragic side. Midas can't eat, he can't drink, his gift becomes a curse, starving him amidst his riches.
A powerful metaphor.
Absolutely. It's a stark warning about prioritizing material wealth over, well, basic human needs, basic human connection and sustenance. You see the parallels in modern consumer culture, perhaps?
Oh, definitely. That endless chase for stuff that maybe doesn't actually nourish us.
Precisely.
And the contrasting story.
That's the story of Bishop Nicholas of Bari. We know him better as St. Nicholas.
Ah, okay. The origin of Santa Claus, essentially.
In a way, yes. His story here involves an act of incredible and, importantly, secret generosity.
What did he do?
He anonymously provided dowries, bags of gold, for 3 poor young women whose father couldn't afford them, saving them from being forced into prostitution.
Wow. And the key is that it was anonymous.
Exactly. He did it discreetly.
Yeah.
No seeking recognition, no public acclaim, just pure, selfless giving to alleviate suffering.
That really gets different, doesn't it? Especially now, when so much giving can feel, well, performative, for social media or whatever.
It does offer a strong counter-narrative.
Yeah.
It highlights the value of doing good for its own sake, where the act itself is the reward, not the likes or the public praise.
A lesson in quiet charity. Okay, so amidst all this, there's a dramatic event. The mountain shakes.
Yes. The whole mountain trembles, and the souls cry out, "Gloria in excelsis Deo, glory to God in the highest."
But this isn't like the earthquakes in the Inferno, which were terrifying signs of damnation.
Not at all. This is the complete opposite. This earthquake is fundamentally joyous. It's a sign of liberation.
Liberation? How so?
It means a soul has completed its purification on this specific terrace. It has overcome its attachment to avarice, shed that burden, and is now free to ascend higher towards paradise.
So the whole mountain rejoices with that soul.
Exactly. It's a moment of collective celebration. Everyone shares in the joy of that soul's progress.
That's beautiful. In our often individualistic world, there's something powerful in that image of celebrating someone else's success, their spiritual breakthrough.
It really is. It speaks to community, shared hope, interconnectedness on this journey.
Now, you mentioned earlier some interesting parallels Dante draws connecting this canto to other parts of the comedy.
Yes, there are a few special treats, if you like, for readers paying close attention. One is the strong parallel between Canto 19 of Inferno.
Where Dante condemns the simoniac popes,
Right.
those selling church offices.
Their greed corrupted spiritual authority. And here, in Purgatory 20, we have Hugh Capet condemning the greed of secular rulers, his own descendants.
So Dante's showing how avarice poisons both church and state.
Exactly. It's a pervasive threat to any kind of power, religious or political.
And does this connect back to the very beginning of the poem?
It does, quite neatly. Remember the she-wolf in Canto 1 of Inferno? That symbol of insatiable greed and incontinence? Avarice is presented as this fundamental, deeply rooted obstacle.
Right, I remember. And the earthquake symbolism again.
Yeah, it's worth restating. In Inferno, quakes mean terror, divine wrath, damnation. Here in Purgatorio, the quake means freedom, joy, ascent. It shows the transformative power of this journey.
So pulling it all together, what are the core lessons we can maybe take away from Canto 20 for ourselves?
Well, there are several, I think. First, that old saying, power corrupts. Hugh Capet's lament is a stark example. It pushes us maybe to look closely at the ethics of leaders, the principles guiding them.
Sure. And also this idea of responsibility across generations.
Yes, Hugh feels the weight of his lineage's future actions. It's a prompt for us to think about legacy, the ripples our choices send out over time.
Then there's the Midas lesson, the self-destructiveness of unchecked greed.
Absolutely. A really potent reminder in our consumer age to ask, what do we really need? What truly sustains us versus what just leaves us wanting more?
And conversely, the beauty of St. Nicholas's quiet, selfless charity.
Right. Finding value in doing good without needing the spotlight. Just the act itself.
And that communal joy we talked about, the earthquake celebration.
Yeah, the importance of community, of finding joy and maybe inspiration in the progress and redemption of others, not just focusing on our own climb.
Finally, that sense of history repeating itself.
Hugh's prophecy is Dante's whole structure. It suggests history moves in cycles. We see the same failings, the same virtues pop up again and again. The challenge, perhaps, is to learn from those patterns.
Okay. So as we wrap up this 54th deep dive, exploring Canto 20 of Purgatorio has given it a lot to chew on.
Definitely. Insights into greed, power, ethics, community, history, all relevant to navigating our own complex lives.
We've seen the pitfalls of avarice, the weight of leadership, the impact of our choices, and the real value of selfless kindness and shared joy.
Indeed.
So here's a final thought for you to consider, building on that idea of historical cycles. Given these recurring patterns of greed and redemption that Dante highlights, what role do you see yourself playing? Are you contributing to breaking negative cycles or perhaps fostering positive change, even in small ways, in your own life and community?
Something to mull over.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration. We look forward to seeing you for our next deep dive.